Why are we having two different lectures on this? Because we want you to get two different perspectives. Both perspectives are needed. The principle is the same. You know, even if you ask their generals first, in certain cases where you need to, when you get to the point where you're asking about themselves, let them talk for a long time and don't interrupt them at all. You know, at some point you're going to have to do what Jonathan said in every case. And at some point you're going to have to do what I'm telling you about today in virtually every case. It'll be greater or lesser extent according to the case. Our topic for this morning is case taking for the information or the data. Sometimes we're able to find the remedy based on the deep inner life of the patient. Other times we find the remedy based on the food cravings of the patient or the location of the headache. No matter how you find the remedy, if you find it on the basis of a keynote, if you find it on the basis of where the headache is or what time of day the headache comes on, if you find it on the basis of that they put their feet out of covers at night, it doesn't matter how you find the remedy. The remedy has the same deep, profound action on the patient no matter how you found it, as long as it's the right remedy. Okay? So all we're talking about is different tools, different ways to access what is the right remedy. How do we find the true simillimum? Having found that, our job is done, practically. In the initial lecture, you heard about how to get the three-dimensional aspect of the person, the whole 3D picture of them in their deepest, profound level. And in this part of the case taking, we're going for just like a two-dimensional image or even a one-dimensional point of information. A single point of information will trigger the thought process that will lead you to a deep remedy. So that's why we bother to really probe all of this sort of mundane information. Now the question then becomes, how much is too much? How much data do we need in a case? How far do we just keep going for more and more data? You know, you can lose the forest for the trees by going for lots of data. Especially those that have already been taking cases, you know what I'm talking about. And then you find yourself like interrupting the case over and over again, finding yourself asking question after question to get details that have less and less return at a certain point. It's like, you know, a certain amount of details you need, and then a certain amount you're asking, and it's sort of rounded a curve, and then a certain amount you're asking way out here, and you're getting very little return for all the work that you're doing and all the time that you're spending on these details. So there's a balance that has to be struck. And one thing you have to ask yourself is, if the symptom is not important enough for them to recall it, how useful is it going to be in the case? In other words, if they don't recall the symptom spontaneously. The other question is, when do we go deeper into a case? In other words, most people when they come in, the first thing that they're going to talk about is the chief problem that they have, why they came. For 70 or 80% of the people, it will be a physical problem that they'll want to talk about at the first. Doctor, I've had a cold for the past week and I can't get over it. That sort of thing. Or my headache, or my arthritis, or what have you. So they'll talk about that, and then very quickly, you know, you'll find yourself at a dilemma point. Should I start asking deeper questions about their personality, about their nature, or should I be waiting for them to bring it up? When do I try to go deeper? When do I still talk about more practical matters? How soon? How fast? And of course the answer is never simple, because it depends entirely about the case. Sometimes by the second sentence you should already be going deeper into the case. Other times you have to wait all the way through a long series of convincing the patient that you're seriously interested in their physical health before you can go deeper into the case. So it depends a lot about the person's personality, how fast you push this. For example, if the patient is very reserved, then what you may have to do is go through all of their physical problems, maybe 3 or 4 physical problems, before you could even hint at going deeper into the case. And very closed patients, very practical patients, mineral patients, they're very reassured by a physician who systematically goes through all of their complaints in great detail. This one event will help them to open up later if you go through all the details of their head. You know, the mineral patient that we talked about yesterday, they say, well, I have 3 problems. My headaches, my arthritis, my back pain, whatever it is. You know, so if they go through their headaches and then suddenly start trying to switch the topic before they go through their other 2 complaints that they've already announced that they have, you're going to lose their confidence right away. So you don't want to do that.